Hey, good morning and afternoon, my fine game jammers. I'm Baron. I occasionally run games and playing games on this channel and have the absolute privilege and luxury to get to run one for this event Jeremy's putting on for his anniversary. Alongside me, I also have the privilege of 5 familiar faces to the channel. So we're going to start there, and I'm going to have you guys introduce yourself, plug whatever you'd like to plug, but save your character descriptions for the game. So we'll start to my left. Chad, you want to kick us off?
Hello, my name is Chad. You guys have probably seen me around this channel before. Yeah, I'm very proud and very happy to be here today, celebrating the 10-year anniversary. And then, I'm really jazzed about this. I love Caldera. It's one of my favorite settings that Jeremy's come up with. So, Baron, and it's an honor to actually have you run a game for me. I think this is the first time that you've been my GM, so I'm very excited for that.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you're done, we'll just continue around the
Yeah.
circle. We'll go to
Yeah.
Steve next.
Absolutely.
Not me. Hey, I'm Steve. I play in the Banners game on this channel with like over half of the individuals here. It is a blast, and I was very honored that Jeremy invited me to play. So I am looking forward to this.
Nathan?
Yeah, I'm next in the overlay, and I'm Nathan, also known as Dimension 119. That's pretty much where you can find me on YouTube, Twitch, anything like that. Mostly do my YouTube stuff under the former podcast of Two Beards and a Producer. We're a survival game podcast. We cover a couple survival games and talk about DayZ and Project Zomboid mostly, that kind of stuff. But when I'm not doing that, I'm trying to be on this channel as often as possible. If Jeremy sends out an invite and graciously requests me or asks me if I'm available, I do what I can to try to clear my calendar for that because it's an honor to be on this channel. It's especially an honor to be able to be on for the 10-year anniversary. I can't wait. I'm kind of jealous of everybody else that's in all the other games. I didn't get to be in all 4, but I guess I won't be too upset about it. But yeah, I can't wait to see what we get into. I usually regularly play on this channel in a monthly Caldera game with Chad down there. We're having a blast with that one, and I can't wait to get into more Caldera and actually get to play a different character this time.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to just continue, aren't we? We'll get used to this, after it's done. I'm Mythin Gears. Really can't find me on the shows right now. I'm just done with it all. But where you can find me is here on this channel, Erasmus Expeditions, and also over at Mini Train Domain. My face is one of the regulars over there and here. So I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited to celebrate this weekend and this 10-year life of this channel, and may it have many, many more decades. Yeah, with that, I'll just pass it on.
Hi everyone, Alice XN on all the socials. I'm on Mini Terrain Domain every once in a while, and I'm over here every once in a while. I was super stoked when I got messaged to be a part of Jeremy's 10-year anniversary. This is awesome. I've never played Caldera before, so I'm super excited for that too. Like I said, you can find me on Mini Terrain Domain. I play with Kaeryn. We do Sky Metal Iron Gods funsies. But yeah, other than that, I'm stoked. I'm excited to play. Let's get this done.
All right. If you haven't been able to get the few inferences, we are going to be saddling up and heading out west to play in one of my favorite settings. Jeremy's put out Caldera. It's a fantasy take on the Wild West. We're going to be using D&D 5th edition rules when they come into play. But given the nature of the setting and ultimately the adventure we're about to depart on, there will be foul language, adult subject matter throughout. And though we have gone through a list of safety tools to keep my players safe, that doesn't necessarily extend to you in the audience. So if that seems like something you're not ready to hitch your buggy to, giddy up. Finally, I'd like to take a second to thank our sponsors, Absolute Tabletop, Buckstar Games, Mythic Gazetteer, and Nerdarchy. Thank you guys for your support, and if you haven't followed their work, I suggest you have. The stuff that I've seen is really cool. I know Mythic Gazetteer just released Sword Opera, and I am eager to get into it. But without further ado, we can get started. The first thing you feel is motion. The world sways beneath your feet like a living beast, steady and relentless. Heat presses in from all sides. Not the sun's warmth, but the breath of a furnace, thick with soot and hot iron. Somewhere close, a whistle screams long and hollow, and the floor trembles beneath its cry. When your eyes focus, you're no longer in Godsend. Brass walls breathe like bellows stitched with rivets that twitch like they're alive. The ceiling hums with a dull red glow, pulsing in time with the engine's heartbeat. You are in a narrow train car. Outside the window, the saltlands blur about you. But it almost seems as if the Firebride isn't just moving. It's devouring the miles, screaming westward towards a place none of you have ever seen, plan to never go. Somewhere ahead, in the heart of this infernal machine, a soul burns to keep the engine fed. If you don't stop it, it will carry everything and everyone straight to hell. For you all, the world begins to right itself. You've been shaken awake from a dream you don't necessarily remember falling into. The air in this caboose is hot, heavy with the scent of scorched metal. The walls seem closer than they should be. It's almost like a cage that you stepped into willingly. There's not much to it. A few benches bolted to the floor, a single shattered lantern swinging in the dark, a crooked playing card pinned to the wall with a rusted nail, a spilled satchel of coal. Sitting on one of the benches is a small wooden toy, a small carved rocking horse, shifting back and forth. But as you all kind of gather your senses, you realize gruesomely a man hangs in front of the door. Beyond him, the only way forward, a narrow iron door set in the front of the bulkhead, where its handle glows visibly warm. And through the window, you can see a faint glow of lantern light, and the suggestion of unmoving figures beyond. You are ultimately left with few choices. You're going to have to stop it and save any of the souls aboard, or follow it deeper into the pits. I think this is where our shifting camera kind of settles, and it settles on you, Burl. Can you describe what we see?
And just so for reference, so that I'm aware, we are on a train car. We are on.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Cool. So I imagine somewhere in this caboose train, there is a man whose head and horns probably scrape the top of the cabin itself. You see a furbolg man. He has hands leather, almost like leather-like skin on the spaces of his face and his hands and places that actually show it. But for the most part, all of the rest of him is covered in almost like a lamb's-like wool fur. So he has a beard the hair cascades into the same beard, all white and fluffy. And then he has like a red shirt and like the worn farmer's overalls. Like and he's got what looks like on the overalls there's a patterning that looks like a tree across the front bib of the overalls. But he is this massive man that is sitting in one of the caboose car or in one of the seats. He's just sort of getting himself a fix, and he'll stand up, and as he stands up he hits the top of the caboose roof, and he looks down. Still, you ready for this?
Beside you, a figure starts to come into view. Solara, will you describe your character, please?
So next to Burl, with him being quite tall, there's this very small, maybe 5'2" satyr who has this wild, thick red hair with various beads and bone tied into her hair. She has tanned skin, obvious scars across her, and when she looks around and she sees this train car, there's a roll of her eyes at first. She doesn't like the train. And then she hears Burl, and she looks up. She's really got to pull her head back to look up. Her horns scrape her shoulder blades a little bit. I guess I gotta be.
He gently like reaches the frying pan sized hand out to you, and like you know, is as delicate as he is like giant. He knows that they have a mission, and so he's like trying to be serious and trying to be like, I've got you. I'll be okay. Everything will be okay. But you can see that there is like this tension in him, like because he knows you don't like this confined space, this level of like being on a train. So he's like, I'm trying to get this done so we can get out and we can get outside. So let's get on and go.
As you help Solara to her feet, you see sitting next to you on one of the benches, Gramps.
Gramps is pretty old looking human man. He's definitely old. He probably looks older than he actually is. He spent a lot of time living hard and a lot of time in the mines. He is decked out head to toe in a buckskin outfit, but contrary to like what we imagine as a buckskin outfit looking, having like the tassels in the arms and stuff, those are very cut short. Because again, he's used to being in the mines and he can't have things getting caught over leather armor over all of it. And he's actually just finished packing his pipe. And as he looks around the train car and sees everything that's happening and realizes kind of something's not quite right, he looks down at his pipe and he's like, I'm definitely gonna need a smoke out of here.
Thagris, you kind of shake yourself to awareness through a migraine that racks you between your horns. Can you describe your character for us, please?
Sure. So Thagris is a buffalo tar. He has been sitting on this bench, sort of reclined, his hat down across his eyes, is one broken horn, his other horn poking up through the hat. This red gem emblazoned on the front of it. He wears obvious armor underneath these tailored sort of magistrate-looking clothes. He's a traveling judge. Sitting next to him is this giant two-handed hammer. It's a war hammer that's been modified to look like an oversized gavel. He's got a bit of the almost billy goat scruff to his chin that acts as his beard. He's got a few feathers and beads in there that are indications of his split heritage with some of the indigenous population. He's not a tall buffalo tar, only standing about 5'10", but he's almost as wide. And he and rubbing his horn in the hat. Oh, well, headache's not going to get any better anytime soon, I reckon. And he stands up. I think it's the smoke. And he looks over at Gramps. Maybe it's the train smoke.
And it's as the four of you kind of glance around at each other, the person hanging from in front of the door takes a gasping breath and begins to claw at the rope asphyxiating them. Kaeryn finishes out. What does Toldar look like?
Yay. Who you see is this you would think he'd be a tall man. He's a tall man, but compared to some of the people in this train car already, he's just kind of a little bit average. But he's got long black hair at this moment, kind of bedraggled and unkempt. And as he turns and takes that breath, you see these eyes that are hollow. They're black. And you can see the man is wearing leathers. They're well worn, kind of a dark brown, kind of indescript kind of leathers, and peeking amongst, just barely you can see it, would be some sort of ink that's covering his chest and up into his neck.
Toldar, you grasp at this rope that's strangling you.
Was he here when I went to sleep? I'll
You
start
say
walking that.
Leg's trash.
Yeah, I start walking that direction. God damn, so this isn't how you hang someone. And I'll go over and grab him. And I lift you up to give you slack in the rope as though you weighed nothing more than like a sack of potatoes. And I just lift you up and I'll start fumbling with the top of the rope. I do have big old cow fingers, so maybe not the most dexterous up there.
I imagine if Burl sees you doing this, though, he would come striding down from the back of the caboose. And at that point, he has a sickle on his sidearm. So he would like flip the sickle out and just like help you slice the top and cut the rope off.
As you cut the rope, Toldar, you fall into Thagris's buffalo tar arms. You can feel the like burning sensation of the rope burn around your neck, on what feels like an already old bruise that's never really gone away.
All right, now. I got you.
Thank you. That is far too soon for me to feel that again.
I kind of cock an eye and turn my head a little bit. You been hung before?
I think this, he just looks at you and raises an eyebrow as if, you didn't understand what the word he just said previously. But then he's like, just nods. Again, thank you.
Still
he tries
holding
to-
you. Yeah. I kind of hold you out a little bit at arm's length, like someone might who's inspecting like a coat or a backpack. I stare at you, blow a little bit of that cowl into your face. Did you deserve it? Any of the times?
There is a moment where you see a flash of anger in those black eyes. But it's just momentary. And then he kind of relaxes and his face just goes, not once.
I know what that's like. And I look over at you, Burrow, and I shake my head. I'll put you down on the ground. And I put my hand on you, and I'm going to give you 1 point of lay on hands healing. So you'll feel this nice soothing sensation come over you. God damn's hangings. And I turn and start walking away, like, oh, job done.
I think Burl will sit there in the cabin and he'll look square down at the at Toldar. Yeah, little Walker. I see we meet again.
We do,
Not
but
best
apparently,
of
yeah, I was going to say that doesn't seem to be the best of places.
He kind of extends a hand out to you. Well, whatever caused this, I promise you ain't getting hung again. Understand?
He just kind of laughs under his breath, like, don't promise that which you can't make good on.
Well, every promise I've ever made, I've been pretty good on them. So I highly doubt that I'm wrong.
He won't admit it if he is.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, Solara's just giggling in her seat, very much agreeing with Thagris.
There's but one door.
I think so. Burl would go to the back car and he would actually grab his shield and put it across his back. You see the shield that he does carry. It's a wooden shield, but it has the emblem of his god, the Root Mother, emblazoned on it, which looks like the equivalent of a weeping willow that has ever-reaching branches that go down to the bottom of the shield. And then he actually, I think, Baron, if you'll allow it, before we exit the car, I think I'd like to use one of my channel divinity and use there's a function called Bountiful Harvest that I'd like to use before we depart the car. Allows me to basically up to 6 creatures within 60 feet. I can bestow them heroic inspiration, which is basically just offering them inspiration, like a 1 reroll. And then that is good until I finish a long rest. And then additionally, depending on what season that I'm in, and so for this, it would be sowing. They gain after they have the feast, they gain a number of temporary hit points equal to the proficiency bonus and wisdom modifier. So that would be 8 temporary hit points for each person.
Yeah.
So basically, he's just going to hand out like little to go, like just little snacks, as a good farmhand would. He has just like little snacks on hand. He's like, can't start a good fight on an empty stomach. Everybody eat up real quick.
Here's a handmade fruit leather.
I think as we see Burl's, like you talk about your symbol of the mother tree.
Yeah, the Root Mother.
Yeah, the Root Mother. I think it's at that point we kind of pan over a little bit as Taldar is getting up from the ground, composing himself, and we see a bit more of that ink that's on his chest as maybe his vest comes apart a little bit, and it's almost like the same as your symbol, except it's some sort of like corrupted, dead version of it, and amongst it there are hanging nooses from the branches.
So each of you has an inspiration and 8 temporary hit points. Who would like to open the door?
Oh, it's so kind of you all just to stand there. And I'll grab my hammer and put it over my shoulder, and I'll start walking towards the door.
I mean,
I
I would have done it.
I stop right when I get next to you, Burl. You'd have done
Yeah.
it.
I could have, but you're a judge.
Could've.
I'm not.
I'm just saying also, he wasn't on that door when I went to sleep. I'm
Yeah.
not crazy.
No, you're not.
All right.
I would have noticed something like that. You're all right.
All right, so I'm gonna walk up to the door and I look at that like piece of rope that's still just hanging up there, and I snatch it down real quick before I open it. I will open the door.
You press your hand to the iron latch, and the metal flexes organically, perhaps, flexing ever so slightly. The door doesn't swing open so much as it just kind of relents to your push. Releases kind of like a hiss of steam from some steampunk part of this caboose that was vaguely described on a wall or scene. Somewhere beyond, that same kind of like scream like whistle just kind of relinquishes itself at your passage. The door yields open with a heavy hiss. This wave of stagnant to warm air kind of rolls out to meet you. Lanterns swing from the ceiling. It almost gives off like an unnatural shade of orange, like loose, like old photograph, sepia-ish almost. We see rows and rows of passengers that fill benches on either side. They're all kind of like standing, like shoulders square, heads taut, looking forward. And as you kind of walk in, the people that you see like immediately at the back of this car, you can see their faces are kind of, the top half is still and rigid, but the bottom kind of twists and turns and smacks their lips, kind of in jerking motions as they whisper phrases over and over again. Some beg for forgiveness, some bargain for gold, some chant prayers to lose that seem turned inside out. A gaunt woman in faded Castilla military colors kind of clutches at a bayonet that's impaled through her. A shackled man near the back wears the mark of an Eastern tribunalist on his chest. In another part, a judge that you know was famous for condemning innocents to hang. A young farmer near a window mutters to whatever god will hear him to protect his crops and his flock. And his hands are still stained with soil that he no longer plows. At first, none of them react to you. They all kind of just sit and sway with the motion. And it's as you kind of like get in and get a gaze at their face, the head kind of like jerks to the side. You can hear vertebra cracking in the neck as wherever you are, these heads turn and snap into place, look back at you. Their stares are straight, their mouths kind of slackened and open. They whisper and rise in a single voice, overlapping but discordant. It's nothing common, but something darker, unknowable. You see beyond another door. There is no exits. just this train car full of trapped souls and those kidnapped by the Firebride to take to God knows where.
It wasn't until the first door was opened that Gramps actually stood up from the bench he was sitting on. He's using this pickaxe as basically like a cane. He doesn't look, his physique doesn't look like he should be like hunched over or unable to move, but that's how he moves as he walks forward. Once he reaches this next car and sees all of this that's going on, he's more concerned with searching the faces of all the individuals in this car that he can see to see if he finds his friend Tom. He's currently not aware if his friend Tom has passed or not, but it has been enough years to where he may be concerned that he could be on this train if this train is stealing souls.
You look around at these faces, and it's hard to look at them all at first, just their kind of like distorted nature and like the unearthly gibberings that pour from their mouth. You look and you see at first no one you recognize, and you kind of like think in relief, but as you start to look continuous like the rest of the car, slowly it becomes one person, a miner that you knew from 15 years ago. You look again, there's somebody that you had made a deal with over some, bunk cargo that you got the better end of the deal on. And it increases until it's almost, you don't want to continue looking at these faces. There's too many people, but you look at them and there's an uncanny aspect about them. Like it's too much of that person. They're too symmetrical.
Burrow, I don't like it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. This is not even for me. Kind of like striding through the cars, and then every like crack of bone that comes from it's like hearing a root snap during harvest. Like it's just that unsettling feeling, like he's walking through a graveyard. And you think every car is going to be like this?
Things are probably going to get worse. I mean,
and
I
said that in sequence is even scarier. Like,
well, I mean, just look how we met him. Syl, you ever seen anything like this?
I like to think that the moment Solara sees the Castilian soldier, it's a lot of instantaneous anger to where, because she's probably in the back. She was probably one of the last people to come through because she's got this giant gun. She has this huge Gatling gun that she's basically at this point, with her being so small, it's almost as big as she is. And it's so weird to just see her, and she's carrying it like this. She's practically hugging it. And I think Burl would notice that there's this very slow movement of her starting to like get ready to aim it. And when Thagris talks, she's like, no.
All right. We just push on, I guess.
anybody that is proficient with Arcana, Religion, or Insight can give me a roll.
You got it, buddy. That'll be a 15 on religion.
All right. We will start with Toldar from the Arcana aspect. What languages do you speak?
I speak Dwarvish, Elvish, Gnomish, and Sylvan.
You don't know what this burbling is, but it does take the kind of like tonal component of a chant or ritual. Thagris with a 15. Whether in real life or in the confines of your own soul, you have done battle with the nature of demons and devils and those who exist outside the light of day. These are not demons or devils. These seem to be tortured souls, perhaps. At least for the most part. Without like further investigation, a 15 tells you that these are people, question mark. And then Burl with an insight of 19, you kind of peer around. Most of these figures do not give off shadows, but there are a few that do, and those look the most pained and the most familiar to you, whether they're somebody that you've known in recent times, but the memory of the ambition that you're here for kind of returns to your mind, that a devil had come into the saloon in Godsend and made a deal. And because of that deal, people have gone missing aboard this infernal contraption that you find yourself now aboard. And that kind of goes to a flashback. It shows us in the center of town. There is a pitched argument between two groups of people. They seem to be arguing over what to do next, as what happened last night when that dastardly bard decided to play games with the devil. There is now a burning hole to God knows where in the middle of the saloon. There are those screaming about the fact that they can't drink today. They worked all day and now they can't. You're telling me they can't drink because some doofus made a bad choice. There are those that talk about the greater implications, like what will the people back in Edgestone do? But the one you remember, good old Reverend Kerrigan, screaming in your face that it's because of the pagan worship these things have happened. It's because we've strayed too far from the light of luz, because we've let people choose the old ways, the wrong ways. And a vein kind of like bulges from his forehead, his cheeks red, hatred in his eyes as he points his finger at you. What about this inspired you to make an action, to do something about it? And what did you decide to do?
On this day when the devil arrives in your home, because Godsend is my home, whether or not I live inside it or not. My home is outside. But I do so because I don't feel like I belong. And on this day, I am in this saloon with this man as he is berating me profusely. And I look to him and I say with all sincerity in my voice, you pray to lose because you believe that the light will purify everything. What you don't understand is that the gods of the old ways, my root mother, yeah, she loses light to farm your crops, to feed your people, to do what you cannot, and things that you cannot promise. So, you want to tell me, mine, that our views are wrong? Well then, maybe there's a reason why this devil showed up in your doorstep and not mine. And I will walk out of the saloon. And as I leave him seething, but I leave a druid crafted flower in the doorway on like the sill as I leave, just as a symbol of fuck you. Like this magic will not die just because you tell it to.
And as you pass through the doorway, you're back in the passenger car of the Firebride. You are all at one end of the train car. What would you like to do?
Did you say there was another doorway at the other end of the train car?
Correct.
I was about to say, I think Sill's gonna be pushing through everybody, like, get out of my way. I want to get off of this thing.
Well, I guess we followed the little lady then.
As you push into the passenger car, I need everyone to make a wisdom save, DC 14.
I got 14.
The wails and madness pouring forth from the mouths of the individuals that occupy this train, you are able to kind of keep it out of your minds, the secular and mesmerizing tones that they put forth. But among them, you hear whimpering, but you choose to proceed. The door ahead of you is similar to the one that you just passed through. As you reach the other side, an individual reaches out and grabs your arm, Thagris. This passenger, human, maybe? Their figures gaunt and distorted. Tell me, was I guilty? Was I guilty? His fingers like iron on your huge wrist.
So I'll turn in that sort of like almost paralyzed robotic, like I wasn't expecting someone to grab me, and I look down at him. What did you do?
He doesn't seem able to respond outside of saying, tell me, was I guilty? There are other things being shouted at this point beyond the infernal. To bring the harvest back. But I was innocent. I didn't commit the crime. We burned it all, every last field.
I will try to remove
Was I guilty?
his hand from my arm.
Give me a strength check.
Rolled a nat 20, so 25 total.
Roll damage.
Sure. What damage is that?
Just weapon damage is fine.
Oh God. I'm sorry, person. Yeah, 23 points of damage.
You go to remove this man's arm, and it shatters in your grasp. Kind of the bone and whatever else kind of splintering from the edge of his now stump arm. He screams out and discorporates.
I hope.
Ends with a wail.
Right. Oh gods, I hope for your sake that you were innocent.
The train car has gotten very quiet. Everyone, you feel an impending threat. You have a few options. As the chanting stops, you can go through the door, or you can see what happens next. But for the sake of the skill challenge, I need you to roll initiative. There is a cacophonous wail that starts in the back of this passenger train and moves up through the endless car that now extends behind you. This is not a long skill challenge, but more or less, Gramps and Thagris, you're going to be able to move before the wave of the damned hits you. And Solara, Toldar, and Burl, you'll be after the wave hits you. And the challenge is to get through the door. You just need to give me a skill that you would use to try and get to the other side of this doorway. You have no reason to believe it's locked, so you can just open the door. But we'll start at the top with Gramps.
So Gramps, getting this feeling of what's something ominous is about to happen, pulls this little cap thing out of his. It looks custom made, but pulls it out of his pocket, sticks it in the end of his pipe to kind of snuff it. And there's a little loop in his hat. He shoves that pipe in that loop in his hat, and weirdly, with a weird speed based on how he's been walking and using this pickaxe as kind of a cane, he chokes it up in one hand and just starts moving forward quickly, straightens up, moves forward quickly, and starts trying to push through everybody else. I imagine he was kind of at the back of everyone, moving towards the door. And I would like to use my athletics to try to get to this doorway.
Go ahead and give me a roll.
It's going to be a 24.
Jesus Christ. You begin to feel the kind of like condemned begin to wrap around you just as the people sitting in the front of this train car, and you push them aside, either side of them, and some of them with enough force they slam into another. The heads kind of clack together, gross and hollow, leaving kind of like deformities. They kind of disperse. You make it to the door, you test it, it opens. But this is a door that's one person wide, and you've kind of gotten to the point where you're in the door frame. Do you cross the threshold?
I think Gramps, after a few steps, I think Gramps loses sight of that these entities are trying to grasp him. And he's actually back in a mine shaft, running. And the sounds of these entities are becoming to Gramps the sound of rocks falling. And I think without hesitation, when he gets to that doorway, he thinks to one other time that he hesitated at the entrance to something and just plows right through. He doesn't even stop.
You disappear from view in the yellow glow of the next car. Sagres. The door's open.
I think initially Thagris steps towards the door, but then sees that there are other people who are further back in the cart. And so I'm going to actually push back in so that I become the last person who could retreat. And I would like to use my religion. And the reason I'm going to do that is I'm actually going to cast a spell. So I'm going to cast protection from evil on myself, and then try and basically block the walkway of the train as everyone else is retreating, and I can slowly back up to, be sort of like the rear echelon shield of this. If that is good for you.
Give me a religion.
All right. Well, it's not wonderful. It's only gonna be a 4.
I'll say using a spell, you have advantage.
Okay. Let's say it's only a 14 on that one. 20 with the advantage roll.
You move to the back using yourself as a shield against this. Now you can see it. This kind of like, it almost looks like they're all doing the wave, but it's these bodies kind of clawing over top of each other to get to you, of all walks of life. It's in this moment that you see the face of one of the deputies involved in the hanging of your uncle. You see him kind of like deformed and mangled as he kind of gets trampled and stepped on, and his face kind of gets crushed underneath the foot of the next person that's climbing over them.
There is a bit of a grin that crosses my face when that happens.
And as you push to the back is when this wave hits you. Everyone make a strength saving throw, except Gramps, because you had time to make it through the door.
Hopefully the other side of the door is not worse than where I came from.
We'll find out. You guys are posting in the chat, and I need to scroll down. All right, so Solara Toldar, you are going to take 18 points of bludgeoning damage. And Burl and Thagris, you're going to take 9. Now that all of these bodies are up beside you, Burl and Solara, you are actually kind of surrounded as these bodies kind of come over top of you. You see behind you, his name's right in front of me, Thagris, getting kind of like overtaken by these bodies, but like a stalwart shield. They seem to like block above you, and they kind of come around the edges, but he definitely has given you some leeway, it seems. It's that moment you notice 2 things. There is somebody that falls through your barrier of good and evil, and as they do, this kind of visage illusion kind of shatters from them, and it is a small, terrified Unglarian woman. God knows where she's from. It doesn't look like you've seen her before, but she is terrified and like frantically kind of like now crab crawling backwards towards this door away from this screaming mass. Second thing you see, and Solara, you see this probably more so. For whatever reason, you're unaware if anyone sees this the same, but all of these shades wear the Castilian militia garb. They are all in like the pristine kind of crisp edges of a fresh uniform, but they are all disheveled with horrific gash wounds, bayonets, or whatever else kind of protruding from their body. It's hard to look at their faces without expressing some emotion, but they could be familiar. They might not. I need skill checks from both of you, Burl and Solara.
What skill are we using?
Whatever one you want. Preferably not religion or athletics.
Okay. But just some sort of skill check to, are we
Mhm.
trying to evade?
Get through the door.
To get through the door. Okay, perfect.
There's just shades kind of grasping at you in whatever which way. They seem to be held back by Thagris, but you still have to do something for yourself, if that makes sense.
Well, then I
Quick-
think I'm going to try. I think I'm going to try to use insight for my.
All right. Give me an insight roll.
Okay, maybe not good. Let's see. That's a 13.
Okay. You have a heroic inspiration for yourself.
Oh yeah, that's true. I do. I want to use that. I'll go ahead and use it now. Why not?
As you roll, Solara, you got something to say?
I'm gonna backtrack on that part. But I think can I use that? No, the big thing that I wanted to use was athletics for my little plan here. But we're not gonna use athletics. Could I still use acrobatics to kind of try and move Burl and I through?
I would say, yeah, that's fine. Burl, with your insight, you look at this girl and you immediately recognize that she must be one of the kidnapped people that have been somehow procured by this infernal contraption for gods know what. With a 22, I would say you could do so successfully if you chose to, or you can just move into the next room, but you can get her out of this room with you.
100% will. If it's an innocent person, or I feel like she seems like an innocent person in any way, shape, or form, I'm gonna basically, as Solara is kind of humbling and navigating our way through this and helping with that, like I'm picking this woman up, like almost backpack style, flinging her like a sack of potatoes over my shoulder, and then like putting a hand, actually just putting my shield arm up over in front of Solara, so I'm able to like block anything coming in toward her as we head toward the door.
And as you do so, the kind of poise of Solara grabs you, and she's able to use you almost like a battering ram to get through this doorway. And as the two of you go through, Toldar, you're being saved by Thagris' spell, but it itself seems to pull at you. What would you like to do?
So first, I think knowing why Thygris has done what he's done, he's, to help us. I do give him like the nod of thank you. And then I would turn and scan where we're at, where we need to get to. I'd like to use perception to find the best path forward into the door.
Sure.
so close. It was going to be an 18, but it rolled over. I am going to use I'm going to use my heroic inspiration to reroll. Let's try that again. Okay, that was much better. 23.
You find it instinctual to navigate the clamoring damned. Not entirely sure why. And you're able to push through the door. Thagris, your companions have all moved through this glowing rectangle that almost seems juxtaposed against the writhing swarms of shades and condemned souls. With your religion, you're able to get through the door should you choose to.
Yeah, I will back up until I have crossed into that next doorway.
And you fall backwards through the rectangle of light, and the screams stifle. You are met with a cargo room. You all kind of fall in or walk in as it may, and beside you a large metallic door kind of groans. The air changes. Gone is the stale murmur of the passenger car, and here is hardly better. The air is choking, full of smoke and grease and the scent like burning parchment. This cargo car is huge, double height, its walls lined and stacked with crates, chained freight, some branded with sigils of dwarven mining guilds, others with wax seals of magnates who built this infernal line. Still others bear no mark at all, the wood splintered, their contents leaking a pale violet light. Between the stacks, shapes move. Not demons, but constructs of glass, brass, and bone. Each no taller than a man, but with spindly limbs tipped with tools rather than hands. They clatter and clank as they work, sorting through the cargo, affixing it to walls. They seem to shift when you're not looking. And they stand still as you gaze upon them. A broken crate spills a cascade of rusted shackles, another leaks black sand. Closer inspection reveals there are cages among the boxes, their bars red hot and pulsing with infernal script. Inside, souls that burn like little candles in coals, or perhaps memories, each a fragment of someone's past, boxed neatly and ready for shipment. At the center of it all, lashed to a support beam with too many chains, is a single crate larger than all the rest, stamped with a sigil you've seen before. The same mark that once signed away a man's life, or ruined a farmer's field, or condemned a village to a torch. Alcarez. What would you like to do? There's a door on the other side of this room. I'll keep in mind, you cannot see anything from the car behind you. It's just kind of like this orange rectangle.
Everybody now is in the
Yes.
car we're okay.
Mhm.
So I kind of look down at Still, and then I look back to Thagris, do a head count. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, everybody's here. Good. Are you all right? Everybody
What
good?
What about the little old lady you pulled in with us?
Oh, yeah. And he'll like gently put her down, and because he almost forgot. Like, I think Burl is such a big man that sometimes he forgets that he's carrying stuff, and he's just like, "Oh, okay, Will, I'm sorry, I didn't." Ma'am, hi. This is not the way I imagine you would want to be greeted on this train, but hello, my name is Burl Bailstone. This here is Laura and my friends here. We mean you no harm. Are you okay?
I have no idea how I got here. How did I? And she is just frantic.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Please, don't leave me.
no, you're coming with us. Don't worry. It's all right. It's all right. And I think that he would actually, you see that there's a moment where he just holds his palm out. And it's almost like these seeds just start to germinate in his hand. And I'm going to cast Goodberry and offer her, like, are you hurt? You okay?
She puts one in her mouth. Thank you. I don't know what I
Yeah.
could do if I'm here for a moment longer.
Yeah. Sometimes all you need is a snack to calm your nerves. It's all right. Okay. And then he'll look to Still, and he goes, "Well, hon, if that last card was any indication, I think it's time that you get that big gun ready."
Always is, love. Don't worry.
All right. Now, ma'am, do you mind telling us your name?
I'm Elizabeth Sirestone. I am from Edgetown.
Okay. Well, we'll get you back home. Don't worry. It'll be all right. In fact, I got a judge here who might be able to help you as well.
Merle,
Yeah.
you think this is a good idea?
Well, Thag, I see an innocent woman who was about to get destroyed and maimed by countless untold souls. So yeah, I do think that this is a good idea. I don't think that. Do you think that this is a good idea? Because I would imagine that a judge would think this is a good idea.
You know, honestly, if I'm being completely honest with you, bro, stuff like this doesn't come up in the courtroom very often.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, we've been through it. We've done stuff. And ain't never once has it been in our benefit to tote someone. No offense, ma'am. They don't know her ass from a hole in the ground with us when there's trouble ahead of us. I understand that there's not another option. I'm just saying.
Fair enough. But look, I'm always one who sees an innocent and is willing to take them in. You know that. I know that. We're gonna do it. And if you have any hesitation, and he wraps that big meaty palm around your shoulder. He says, "Son, remember when your uncle died?"
No.
I took you in, didn't I? Yeah, I did.
It ain't. It
Oh,
ain't.
you don't think that's the same? You don't think that's the same? That's the same.
Would you put one of your apples in your mouth for a second?
You hear Solara drop her gun for a minute, and she comes over, and one hand is on Thagris, and the other one is on Burl. She goes, boys, y'all know what you two are like, okay? We know that Burl here takes in all the strays, and we know that you don't always trust the strays. And with good reason, not all the strays are good. Do I like this idea? My love, I really don't. I don't think you can trust a whole lot on this train. But I am willing to believe in you because I love you. So we are going to do this. I think we just need to go through.
As Solara, as you kind of settle the scenario, we shift over to Gramps. You're kind of walking past some of these crates.
As
And
we shift to Gramps, he actually chokes on some of the smoke from his pipe at the Apple comment as he's kind of walking down through these crates.
and you look down, and some of them are open enough that you can see they're full of gold. Some of it stamped, some of it minted, some of it raw, fresh from the earth in little nuggets. You can do so much with this. This is what you've been looking for. It's like someone already found the gold in the hills and brought it right here just for you.
Gramps looks back at everyone else to see if anyone's looking his direction. And at any moment that he can see that they're engrossed in something else, he's going to make his way to one of these piles of just like the nuggets. And he has this. He doesn't have any of his mining accoutrements openly viewable except for his pickaxe. But he does have a bag on his side, and absent-mindedly, he's already flipped this bag open, and he reaches into one of these piles and grabs a handful of these gold nuggets. He stops just before the hand dumps this into the bag, and he can hear Tom's voice in his head, and kind of has a flashback to the to the day that he was going to rob a bank, and for the first big haul of his life that could have changed everything. And Tom stopped him and convinced him otherwise. And he's at the moment just kind of frozen there with a handful of gold, an open bag of holding underneath that hand, trying to decide if he listens to Tom or if he saves Tom.
I would like to, at this moment, reach forward and touch that hand that's holding the gold above the bag.
As you do, we'll come right back to this, but there is a flashback. Sorry. Before we get away from this, there is a flashback to Gramps. You are in a similar situation. It's like there is a handful of ingot bars kind of just sitting out from one of the Alcarez kind of carts that are bringing in stamped metals out of the Caldera and taking it back east. And it's like your fingers almost brushing across the gold when there is the commotion as something is going on in the tavern. You hard of hand break away from the gold, and you turn around and see people scattering out of the tavern, and this causes the Castilian guards to kind of come out of the bank that they're depositing or taking these gold bricks from. Hey, what are you doing over here? You shouldn't be over here. Go on now.
I just thought you guys could use an extra pair of eyes. And Gramps will turn and walk away. I think he gets a step or two before he realizes he has one of these pieces in his hand, and he quickly turns back around and puts it down without taking it.
And you do so, and you see like one of the Castilian guards beginning to brandish some sort of wicked hunting knife, kind of from underneath his uniform. And you turn and walk across the street, and the barmaiden Wilma comes out. She is a mixed descent, looks Unglarian and Durathian woman. She has a bit of like leafage and vinery in her hair that's kind of always made her stand out, and really only ever find a home this far west. But you see her, she comes and she kind of like falls into your chest. Please, Jeb, something's gone wrong. You are able to see burnt hoofprints on the deck of this bar. the saloon doors swinging as people kind of come in and out. Do you go inside?
Absolutely.
You push in as people kind of flood out a stone amid a torrent of river. And you see beside the stage something men should not see. There is a figure, goat-like, horns, tall and curved. It stands bipedally on 2 hoofed feet. Its eyes yellow, like piss or topaz, with square pupils that turn and acknowledge you. It smiles with teeth of a man. He, with one hand, a fiddle, bows low. And behind him, a large red portal. Similar to the yellow-orange light that you've already been going through for these doors. He turns and walks through it. That was some time ago now, you realize, coming to as Toldar grabs your hand, stopping you from grabbing this gold. Very similar to someone before. You're back aboard the train. Sorry, Toldar. You may continue.
So as you're thinking about whatever you're thinking about, Tom, I think it was you were saying, but as a hand will come down in your arm and you hear a voice beside you, Gramps, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, that's what Tom's telling me, but this could fix him. This could save him. If he ain't dead already.
Could not save him. Don't take coins from a hell train to save people. You know better than that, Gramps.
I'm starting to wonder if I do.
How about you stop wondering and you put that back?
I think Gramps looks at you for quite a long time. Really weighing whether it would be worth taking this gold to finally be able to end the quest that he's been on for, he doesn't even know how many years at this point, to help Tom, and eventually relents and just, he doesn't even put the gold back where it was. He just dumps it at his feet.
You dump it. It clatters to the ground. It's back in the box once more, ground clean. All the while, there has been kind of like the de-escalation of the argument, but whenever you guys are turning, the noise of these like glass creations shifting and like hoisting cargo kind of like weirdly starts and stops as they think your field of vision hits them. But they don't seem to be doing anything to you. Would you like to proceed to the next car?
I think Gramps at the very least proceeds to the next doorway. I think he's at this point worried that he's going to be tempted to take this gold again if he doesn't quickly get out of here.
Do you all follow Gramps?
I think, yeah, Taldar is going to follow him, in fact, with a hand upon his shoulder, not like, pushing him or anything, but more of a comforting, like, good job kind of motion.
Yeah, and I imagine that once the infighting sort of goes away between me and Thagris, there's the whole thing of kind of understanding what the mission is, understanding what we're here for, to a certain degree. And he nods and kind of sighs and starts heading in that direction. I think I would definitely let or have Solara like lead the way. She's got the most firepower, I believe, in terms of like what we can immediately do if something comes out the other way. So yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll be right behind her, and I think it'll be Thagris and me just kind of bookending on either side.
The 5 of you. Actually, is there anything anybody else would like to add? Then as the 5 of you pass through the iron door that reveals a orange rectangle of light, you pass through to an unforeseen other side. And I think that is where we are going to take our break before moving into the final scene and a half of the game. So hopefully the powers that be have recognized what I'm saying and the things that we need to do. So if everyone wants to take 10, we'll meet back here about 2:30. And just let me, are we good to go, Jake?
Before we start, I want to go ahead and give the same warning that I give on the beginning of all of my games.
Hello everybody out there in YouTube land, welcome to our game today. One of many that are being a part of Brigade Con 2015. Today we're going to be playing, and we also know
If foul language and mature subject matter are a problem for you, then this is not a place for you to spend time. Hello everybody who may be watching now, even perhaps later. Welcome. If that kind of smut bothers you, then exit stage left. If not, then welcome. From the bottom of my heart, I love the fact that there are people that find something of value here on the channel, whether it's entertainment or somewhat educational about a system or whatever reason that you have for hanging out here. It is deeply appreciated. Come back for more, because there's always crazy shit going on down here. God, I'm so excited. There's so much more that I have swimming around in my mind. Remember that kindness is a free action. It costs you absolutely nothing to be kind to someone. And especially in the world right now, we need about as much kindness as we could stand. You never have any idea what somebody may be going through. And if you can give kindness, which is something free that you can give someone, and it might make a difference in their life, then again, that's an easy trade. You don't lose anything by doing that. And again, incidentally, it's how we just so happen to change the world, is through interacting through kindness. It's the only guaranteed way that we can change the world. So, go out there and change the world. Again, unless they're Nazis, and then kick their teeth in. Until next time, may your dice roll high, and your snacks always be within reach.
All right, we're back. Just checked over in the YouTube. Seems like there's some giveaways in the chat. That's pretty awesome. So make sure you're hanging out for those because there will be more. I've also been privy to tell you guys that there are more games later. So I'll give you a little bit more about those at the end, but something to look forward to in the half. But without further ado, we're gonna keep on this crazy train. The door opens as you push forward, and once again the walls faintly pulse with heat. The iron underfoot is warm and almost alive. Each step is steady as the train sounds less like wheels on rails and more like a heartbeat in its bones. You find yourself in what appears to be an inverted chapel. You stand at the mosaic ceiling. Above you, lines of pews with a diverse batch of symbology. It seems as if the landscape above you changes depending on the angle you view it from, but as well as the perspective you take in your life. For Burl, you see among these icons, there are grasping vines that seem to grow upward, but the branches come down towards you, the roots into the ceiling. Hanging from this tree, we see nooses, various sizes and age. We see a cathedral of brass and blackened glass, its arched ceiling beneath you, making the ground a little bit difficult to walk on. But you see painted are scenes of fallen angels clashing with steel-wrought demons in a hellscape graced with luminescent clouds. At the far end, there is, like I said, this altar, half devotional, half engine component, thrumming with a low, steady pulse of crimson light. An amalgamation of Luz and the Root Mother, but assaulted by steam pipes and release valves. You see carved among them this splitting figure of a bipedal goat amongst the branches, its visage hard to look at, its eyes almost too real, in its hand a fiddle tucked beneath its chin, and in its other, instead of the bow, a coiled contract. The air smells heavily of sulfur. Hanging from dozens of inverted hooks along the walls, the pews, and among the stained glass are old weathered slips of parchment, hymnals, prayers, holy books of variety of kinds, but each one seems to have been rewritten horrifically and backwards. But even here, a faint prayer, you can still hear this cry, this whistle from within the train. On the other side is a door. You begin to move into the room. Is there anything that you guys would like to do as you cross the chapel car?
Well, this seems about as wrong as you can make something.
Yeah, I'd like to burn it all down right now, but I feel like that would probably trigger something, more or less. It doesn't feel right at all.
I mean, it's kind of what we're here to do, right? Trigger
Yep.
something.
Yeah, I guess burn it all down. And I think at that, Burl would start heading toward the figure is in the room with us, right?
The like entity coming out of the tree. It's a it's a statue. So like you have this altar that's half iconography of Luz and like the sunburst mixed with this growing tree, and then split almost like it's been struck by lightning, and emerging from the top is this goat-like figure.
Just so I understood, it's a statue, not the actual creature. Okay. So yeah, he's going to, I think Burl is going to go over to the statue, stride his way through, and he's going to take his sickle and just you see that he takes his sickle, and then he has on his other side, he has effectively a spade the size of a shovel head, and he's going to just like use both of those to try to bisect the head of the statue off, because how dare someone like deface this altar of Lucite and the Root Mother in this way. Like he just starts by decapitating the head of this goat man.
Give me an attack roll.
Got it.
Meanwhile, there's just Solara back there like, this is not a good idea. We really shouldn't be doing this. We just need to get to the door.
As the assault on the statue takes place, Solara, a single piece of parchment detaches from a hook and falls to your feet. You can't help but look, and it reads, "Amnesty to any soldier who is willing to collect in the name of Luz, salt the land and burn them out." And it kind of trails and smolders on from there.
Oh.
So that's an 18 to hit.
Your weapon hits hard into this wooden statue. What's the damage?
Sickles are a D4. The spade is a D8, but I'm gonna go. I think I'll do the damage from the spade. Ooh, okay, perfect. So if we're doing that, that's 7. Yep, so 11 damage then.
The blade of your sickle bites hard into the neck of the statue. It is unable to cleave through the solid wood, and a violent shock passes through your body. I need a wisdom save.
Perfect. Okay. Ooh, that's a 17 on the die.
You're
so that'll
able
be
to
a total of
Oh,
total-
sorry. If you have a modifier, please tell me.
Yeah, total of +8. So yeah, 26.
Okay.
20, yeah.
Your sickle bites hard, and this kind of corrosive wave of revulsion flows through you. You're able to push it back with, ideology of the Root Mother, but your sickle is broken.
Damn. Okay. So I watch as the sickle just sort of
Actually, let me
through.
clarify. Your sickle is not magical, correct?
No, it is not magical.
Okay.
No.
So yes, what I say stands.
Yeah, you're good.
You can still
So you
use it as a weapon, but I'm going
Yep.
to say it rolls the next weapon size lower for damage.
Okay. Sounds good.
I
So,
would
yeah.
I would like to come up to Burl as he's looking at his broken sickle and just put a different sickle in his other hand.
Here you go.
As I pull one out of my my inventory.
I think when Toldar hands Burl this, there's this moment of great relief and friendship that he smiles like, and you see his eyes as like hazel and harvest moon as they are. Thank you, Gallo Walker. I appreciate your friendship.
Voldar just gives you a nod.
Yeah, and now he realizes the kind of messed up thing he did. Like, he's making rash decisions, which is not normal for him. He is usually very, like, even keel, and today of all days, he is seeing something so defiled that he's making really rash decisions.
The rest of you move across the room towards the adjacent door, navigating the kind of like arched, bold ceilings that make up this inverted chapel. You're able to get to the door. Seems unlocked.
I'd like to use thaumaturgy to open it. I don't want to touch it.
Okay. Fine. Don't touch the door. As you go to shift the handle, the door is less of a door. It's actually not really a door at all. It's a gate, a towering slab of black iron edged with glyphs that glow like dying coals. It seems like it's trembling and kind of trying to like hold something back. When it opens, it does so with a sound not unlike a sigh, long and weary. You see beyond you the engine room. This door seemingly functioning like it's part of the same chapel thing. You see like the steam pipes above you going into the wall out of this altar on the ceiling. This room doesn't seem like it was built. Seems like it was grown. The walls are half steel, half the ribs of something colossal, fused into machinery that breathes as much as it expels. Volcanic pulses, pipes throb with molten blood, pistons slam like hammers on anvils, every strike sending shock waves through the floor beneath your feet. The heat is nearly unbearable. Every breath tastes like cinders, copper. At the center of this chamber is a heart, a furnace, not fueled by coal or oil, but screaming souls of the damned. Dozens of spectral figures whirl within its infernal blaze, each screaming soundlessly beyond like a glass window that you can see through, but nothing escapes. They spiral seemingly upward towards like the furnace of this heart that pumps and breathes the energy to this infernal train. You see chains among hanging viscera. You see contracts in piles laid about the floor, stuck to the walls by God knows what, blood or otherwise. And tethered to the furnace by threads of gold and iron, a figure stands ahead of you. He doesn't so much sit or stand. It's almost like he hovers, his hooves slightly above the ground. A fiddle tucked beneath his chin, a bow poised as if music had never stopped. His eyes like coals burning yellow. They track your every step. And he says to you in a voice both beautiful and like gravel in under a millstone. Well now, look how far the fine folk of Godsend have come. All that digging, all that bleeding, all that burning, just to stand before the fire and asking it to be kind. The furnace behind him flares brighter and hotter, and the chains snap taut as if straining for blood. The Firebride has carried you this far, but here at its heart the truth is clear. It was never a train. It was a bargain given to a man, and its conductor is waiting to see if you're willing to pay the price to board it. He stands across from you. A human smile on a goat-faced man. What would you like to do? Well, come in, he says with a tongue like fire.
I'm guessing that you're the one responsible for all this horse shit.
I played my hand. But responsible is hard to say.
I've heard other things similar, escaping men's throats while they was dangling from ropes. Responsibility is a hard thing to own up to.
Oh, I take responsibility for what I've done. I built this.
Mm-hmm. You hear that, Burl?
Yeah, I hear it. So, you want us to parlay with you, make a deal with you?
He smiles, ear to goated ear. I would love that. I love a deal. There's always one if you're willing to look for it.
See now, though, any deal that you make, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be the loser on the end of all of it. So I don't like to be in that position.
He's a sore loser.
And I am. And when push comes to shove, if you push me, I will shove back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear friend, you talk a lot of pushing and shoving, and I only punish those who do not uphold their end of the bargain. You seem honorable enough, a man of his word. What would you have to lose? What is it that you need? What is it that you want more than anything? I could give it to you.
I think at the very sentence of what do you have to lose, there is that pretty quick glance down at Solara and then thinking about his farm, thinking about everything. You are about to take everything that I've worked so hard for, running your train full of souls through this godforsaken land. And I am sorry, but I will not make a deal with you today, Daredevil. That will not happen.
Well, I'm sure you don't speak for everyone.
I think at the mention of what do you desire, or him talking about desires, I think Gramps looks away from this figure and actually looks over to Toldar. And I don't think he's actually tempted yet to make this deal, but he's looking to Toldar to make sure that he's still there, so that if Gramps is tempted at some point, that he knows there's someone there that might pull him back.
At this look to Toldar, the figure, money is no issue. I can get you money. Enough money to take care of yourself and all those you care about for the rest of their days. No need for one last score when it's right here in front of you. And his bow turns from fiddle bow to those gold nuggets kind of pouring forth from his hand and clumping to the floor in massive mounds. Hardly seems something to bat an eye.
I think the Gramps' only response is wordless. I think it is literally the audible crack of a pipe stem in his teeth, and that like skin on wood creaking, leather creaking sound that you hear as he grips this pickaxe even tighter in his hand.
And he points to you, Thagris, and you seem to think that I'm some agent of chaos, when really I can't abide it. I like when things are structured, well said, well written. I'm sure a man of your position could respect every corrupt official ousted from their position, every guilty man walked free, tried, and convicted. Why shouldn't I want those things?
You ain't the first person or thing that thinks that they can make everything better. But I've learned something, and it seems that the more lawful, upright, and powerful person or goat or whatever the hells you are thinks that they is, the deeper I need to put their ass in the ground.
Such rage, such temperament. Wouldn't it be easier if we could just lay those feelings to rest and have peace in our hearts?
Oh, my heart's so full of vengeance, there ain't no room for peace. And the only thing I want to lay is my hands around your throat and this hammer on the side of your head.
He smiles again. Well, I'm sorry. That's just not a deal I'm willing to accept. He looks to you, Toldar. Unfortunately, my friend, you've already made your deal. And what a fine one it was. Congratulations.
I would like to, at this moment, make it known that Toldar has been mumbling under his breath and moving his hands. I think Gramps might have caught a look at that when he looked back. Toldar is trying to cast a spell at this moment.
Are you trying to hide it or are you just casting it?
I wasn't trying to hide it until now he's looking at me, so now I'm not hiding it at all. I'm just getting ready to cast it. I'll let you.
I'm going to say that you can cast it if you want.
Okay, wonderful. I am casting Suggestion.
Sure.
So he's going to get to make a wisdom saving throw, DC 15.
Okay.
And as the spell goes on, my words are: shut this engine down, free all the souls on board, and leave this realm forever.
My dear friend, I'm touched that you think I could do anything of that sort without it in writing. He rolled a 17 on the die. Yep, the game's over. He shuts the train down. Go ahead and get off.
I was hoping.
He kind of taps the empty hand from where the gold was pouring. It's a clawed hand of a man. He kind of like taps his chin. Very well. I hope you like the sound of the music we play together. I need you all to roll initiative.
This is where my dice betray me.
Perfect. Zagreus and Burl, who has the higher dexterity?
I have a +2.
I don't know what dexterity is.
Heard.
Oh, nice. Okay, so yeah, that would be me then.
All right. As this chained creature taunts you, more or less, the engine room itself kind of breathes to life as well. But topping the round, Solara, you've been loosely threatened again in your life.
Hooray. Loosely threatened once more. She's kind of used to that anyway. Yeah, so first of all, we're gonna bonus action rage. Because she's just pissed at this point, wants to get the fuck off the train. Like she's over this. And she is going to bring up her Gatling gun, aim it at this guy, and it's 10 round. 10. It uses 10 like bullets per round. 10 rounds each time it's fired. Blech. So we're gonna fire her Gatling gun.
Please do this.
27 to hit.
Oh, 100%.
And that's 5d8. Be good. Oh, I got some nice 24 damage. And then yeah. And then I am going to use my other action to, I'm assuming, start reloading.
I think reloading is a bonus action.
Oh, that's nice.
And so you would have actually already used your bonus action with your rage. So would you like to? So I didn't really describe this room, so I apologize. This room is kind of actual train rectangle shape.
Yeah.
And it's more of a tube. You're probably about, I would say, 30 feet away from this figure that's changed to the engine. There's probably another 20 feet behind it that extends to the front of the engine. The room itself is 30 feet wide.
Cool. I do have the push feature on the Gatling gun as well.
Okay.
Where you can push a creature up to 10 feet straight away from you if it is large or smaller.
Which it is. Does it get a strength saving throw of any kind?
Nope. Just if it hits, he get pushed.
Well, then you push him. You see these chains of iron and gold straining as he's kind of pushed from the front corner of this apparatus to the back as far as he can go.
And I think with that, she is just gonna yell, "All right, everybody else, do your shit."
With this, he flies backwards and the train reacts before anything. I need everyone to make a wisdom save.
This is fun for me. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take this.
Ooh. What are we missing? Jesus. So Thagris and Solara, a crippling fear overtakes you as the scream slash whistle that's been echoing through this train car is coming from this car, and it echoes in your head. You are both frightened and unable to move closer to the entity chained to the engine. The rest of you are racked with a mind-numbing wail, but you're able to shrug it off through will or otherwise.
Baron, has it been 10 minutes since the cart with the souls attacking us?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Thank you.
I would say, yeah. Time is kind of in a loose liminal space here, but yeah.
Okay. It just changed whether or not I was immune to fear or not.
I would say it probably passed when you went to the next room. Anyway. That brings us to the entity who stands up from the floor. I don't know if he was pushed down, but we're going to say he was. Not that he can move far anyway. But he steps forward. He smiles at you with human-like teeth once again, and he takes a bow. Very well. You've played your part. You've signed on the line. Now all that's left is to take what's mine. And he is going to use his claws burn ability. All these contracts that are affixed to the viscera of the wall and scattered on the floor about him, you see that they're also like stacks of them are on the engine, melting and turning to cinders. They all flash into the air, and the clauses fly at you, Toldar. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
That's a 4. Ouch.
You are wrapped in burning parchment and scroll work. I need to find dice. You're going to take 16 points of psychic damage. And you are going to take 1 point of exhaustion. As the deals signed that take people's souls away are seemingly burning themselves into your skin. He is going to then work his way to the back of this engine and stand behind it for half cover. Which will bring us to Thagris. I'm sorry, not Thagris. We decided this already. It was Burl first.
Ooh, baby. Okay. Baron,
Yes.
would you say that the entity in front of us would be considered undead?
I would say that you would have to investigate further to understand its physiology.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It's unnatural.
It's unnatural for sure. Okay. Yeah. You know what? No, it's not gonna change. Well, it would change my spell. That's the thing, is if I don't investigate it, it will change my spell. So I think I'm just gonna go with a good old fashioned classic. And the first one that I'll fire off, coming from I think the sickle, you see that he uses his holy symbol. It kind of glows on the front of his overalls, and then he will cast a guiding bolt straight at this creature, and hopefully it hit. I'm gonna do first level, by the way. So that'll be a 19 to hit.
One second. Half cover does something for me. Okay, so half cover gives me a +2 to my armor class, and a 19 still hits.
Hell yeah. Okay, cool. So that's going to be. Let's see what I can get. Ooh, okay. That's going to be not a whole lot of damage, but that'll be 11 radiant damage coming from the guiding bolt. And then the next attack has advantage because he'll be glowing a radiant, like, I imagine it's like a radiant orange, like harvest moon glow that is sort of being cast around this creature. So I'm going to use that guiding bolt and then call out to Thagris. Now's your time, fella. Hit him hard and hit him fast.
Thagris, you hear Burl, but you are terrified.
Yep. So I think Thagris has been forced to a knee in this this terror, and down there, I pound the floor of this this train with my fist, and in a memory of his uncle, the words come to mind, and he sees his uncle the first time that Thagris had a bad scare working with the animals on the farm, and his uncle had found him sort of cowering in a barn. And using his uncle's words, I'm going to cast heroism on myself, but you get this. Now, boy, you quit your shaking. You staying tall like you's a man, because we got work to do. And I'll cast heroes on myself, breaking me from the frightened and making me immune to it. That is, however, my action.
Still got movement.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to use it because I want to charge this motherfucker. So
fair. Well then, if that's all, that takes us to Toldar.
I'm not like restrained or anything from these things. Like they're like disappeared and burned into me at this point. Is that
correct? You just have
okay.
Exhaustion. You're tired.
Great. I am just going to unleash then 2 Eldritch Blasts against dude.
Okay.
And you'll do so with advantage if you're doing it now.
Cool.
It's just the first one?
Just the first one, right?
Just the first bolt, yeah. First bolt will be advantage.
So advantage, I'm going to roll. First one. Okay, so it'd be 18, but I subtract 2, so 16.
A 16 will not hit with his cover.
Second one. Oh, yeah. We're not even going to say what number that one was. Just
Your blasts of magic go wide.
Go wide. I'm still stumbling from the effects of those papers burned into me.
Your arms are so heavy.
They are. So as a bonus action, I am going to manifest my packed weapon in my hand. It appears to be somewhat rapier-like shaped thing. It's got like rope handle, and its blade, if you try to concentrate on it, seems to be like some sort of like swarm of flies buzzing. And yeah.
Okay. Would you like to move at all?
Oh, hell no.
And that brings us to Gramps.
Can you describe where these where these chains and are connected and what exactly they're doing, or at least what I can tell they're doing?
Imagine like just stereotypical horror chains. Like, what is the purpose of this? Don't know. We hung them up because it's spooky, and it's like their attack. Like, imagine like if this cart looks like something between the inside of a massive person and a locomotive engine. This would be like the entrails, or just like chains and guts hanging from the ceiling. And I would say they're not like curtains of these things, just sporadic along the walls and from the ceiling, hanging with parchment of contracts and various other things.
Okay. This might be a stupid idea, but I think instead of charging in and attacking this thing, I think Gramps is actually going to go see if he could break one of these chains.
I would say give me a strength check. Actually, athletics. Athletics would work.
I'll be using my my pickaxe if that changes anything.
Then it would just be a weapon attack.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna use my inspiration. That was abysmal. All right, that's gonna make it a 24 to hit.
24 will hit.
And that's gonna be 7 total damage.
You swing into these chains, and the pickaxe collides with one of the links themselves, and you kind of catch it in the right spot, and you're able to break a few of them. Contracts kind of flutter about you, and you can't help but see the name of the ridge that Tom had mentioned wanting to stake a claim, and stamped at the bottom is Territory of Alcarez. The claim's been taken. It hits the ground and kind of just gets damp with whatever's on the floor.
No other reaction from this creature or anything after that?
Hard to say, as the chains themselves are not a part of the creature. More so of the train, but the train doesn't seem to be responding like that. But it could have done something. I just would rather show than tell.
Sure. I think I'm just gonna do it again, just for good measure. Pick the next closest chain, and try to break another one. I rolled a 21 to hit on the second one, on the second attack.
That'll hit.
And that's gonna be 12 damage.
A few more chains are severed from their links at the top, and some stuff that's not chain. With that amount of damage, the train itself does seem to groan, and kind of almost like if it was like a torso, it's kind of like twinging to one side. It curves a little bit as the front kind of like pulls from the rails. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I will turn and face this entity at that point, just to kind of not have any other part except for my front towards him, but I'm gonna remain where I am.
All right. That brings us to the top of the round with Solara.
Hooray.
We currently have this creature kind of halfway behind the engine at the semi-center of this train car of people and engine. For the most part, I don't think anyone has moved too far into the room. So it's kind of just you guys strafing one end as he stands behind this engine across from you.
Okay. So
You are frightened, so you cannot
I
move
am frightened,
closer.
so I can't move closer.
And you're at disadvantage as long as you can see the entity.
Yes. So my plan was to kind of see like where the chains on the ceiling go that are
Sure.
connected to the entity, so maybe I can turn and at least roll a singular and shoot at the chains.
I would say you can shoot at the chains either way. You're just going to be at disadvantage because you can
Okay.
still see the thing.
That's totally fine. Oh, they're both bad. My highest or my lowest is a 12.
12 will not make fit. It'll make contact with, like, you can hit the chains, but it's not in a way that
It does say that, you know, if a target is missed, they take half damage. So
just pure force. You're still causing some damage to these chains, despite the fluid nature of their being.
mm-hmm. We're gonna do another hit, and then I'll use my bonus action to reload. Let's try again. I forgot to do that at disadvantage. Oh, natty 1. So that's a whole 9.
For a moment, you are caught up as you hit one of these chains, and it kind of like wraps around your weapon, and it almost seizes and cinches down like something trying to grab it from your hand, but you're able to pull it free. I think with a nat 1, maybe that interaction takes up your reload.
That's fine. I'll take that.
All right. Would you move at all?
Oh,
away
absolutely
from the
not.
creature?
She's gonna try to stay right where she's at and not move any closer,
Sure.
but she doesn't want to move much farther away either.
All right. So, at the initiative count 20, the curve in the train car caused from the damage to the chains has definitely incited some sort of reaction to the train, at least as far as you can see. It arcs, causing these rails, which are glowing red hot that you can now see through the floor, begin to bend and ultimately break and shift through the floor, piercing whatever steel and viscera that comprised it. And I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw. God, you guys roll so fucking high all the time.
God damn, even with
I don't even get to do
advantage
anything
on dex
cool.
saves. Well, you're gonna get to do something cool to me because I got a whole
Oh.
8.
Well,
Oh, mine should actually be 2 lower. I forgot I'm exhausted. So it's 18.
all right. Well, you needed a 17. So everyone will take some damage, but Solara, you are going to take 14 fire damage, and you are pushed back 10 feet towards the door. So you'd be like slammed right up against the wall.
Oh, cool.
Everyone else is going to take half damage of, I said what? 14? 7. So 7 damage, 7 fire damage. And you guys are not pushed.
I imagine you just hear this very loud thump.
With that being said, it is our contract devil's turn. He, given that there is so much damage done to one of his modes of attack, he is for. Actually, I need to roll to see if I get. I do not get my claws burn ability back, so I am gonna make 2 ranged attacks with my fiddle. I need. We'll do Solara and Thagris. I need you both to make. Where did it go? A DC 14 Wisdom save. .
I got a nat 20.
Okay. All right. So, Thagris, you will take 7 points of fire damage as the tones that sound off of this cacophonous fiddle, somewhere between a scream and an angelic prayer, strike at you in your mind. Solara, you're going to take 4 points of fire damage. He kind of hisses, and from behind his hideaway, yeah, he kind of, pages burn and the rails will bend. The song of yours has reached its end. Strike a chord and I'll strike you down. My contract crowns me the king of all sound. And from the train, you hear like this, more moan of pain than anything else. That brings us to Thagris. I did it again, Burl.
One and the same. Okay. I think I see the level of damage that is occurring in this space. And I am gonna cast. Yeah. So, Baron, how big is this car? Would you say feet wide?
I think total I said it was like 50 or 60 feet long by 30 feet wide, so it's almost double as long as it is wide.
Okay. And you know what? It's fine. If none of this ever comes out of it, if nothing ever happens with it, but that's fine. I am gonna cast a second level Summer Winds.
I have no
I'm
idea
gonna
what that
cast.
is.
So Summer Winds, it says you unleash a blast of light and wind in a 15-foot cone. Allies within the cone regain 2d6 hit points. Undead within the cone that are hostile to you must make a Constitution saving throw and then take 2d6 radiant damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one.
All
So
right,
I'm going to
roll your healing.
That's 2, 6, 4. So that's 7 hit points that'll be recovered.
I'm pretty sure it would hit everybody in this room.
Yeah. And then if they fail the Constitution saving throw, my save spelled, my DC for that is 15.
So as you cast the spell, the winds behind your back push into this room, kind of buffeting back the smell of sulfur and ash that has permeated the air. And as these winds strike into this goat-like creature, it is not an undead.
Okay, no worries. But at least the people in that are in that space will gain 7 hit points back. So I imagine that's like Solara. That's like
I'm gonna say it's everybody. Everybody gets 7
everybody
points
that's
back.
in there. Yeah, 7 points back. Yeah, and he'll just sort of stand there. He'll actually probably impose himself moving in front of, obviously with enough space for her to use like her gun, but he's going to try to like just juxtapose himself off to the side of her, shield in front, sickle to the side, ready to attack again. If because it seems like this goat is targeting Solara and Thagris specifically right now. So I'm going to try to do the best I can to like back up and be in that protective space.
Okay. If nothing else, it brings us to Thagris.
Oh,
So,
and then can I do
please.
a bonus action spiritual weapon?
So you can't cast 2 spells.
Oh, that's right. It's a 2 spell thing. Never mind. That's all good. I thought about doing that, but we're good.
All right. So having stood up after ridding myself of the fear, you see Thagris starts to like his boot starts to rake across the ground. I've been scared once. No one gets to make me scared again. That is my line in the sand. And you fucked up when you crossed it. And I am going to charge him.
Sure.
And attempt to whack the crap out of him. So here goes. It's going to be a 23 to hit him.
That'll hit.
All right, sweet. I'm going to bring this Warhammer down in his hand, and as a bonus action, I will Divine Smite him as well.
Please.
So, as his hammer comes down, it makes the sound of a gavel like hitting that wooden disc as it connects with him, and there is this blinding flash of light that happens at the same time that the sound of the latch of the hangman when he pulls it, and like that floor drops out, people fall and snap their necks. You hear all of that as this hammer is being brought down on his head. So we're going to do 8, 13, 16 regular damage and 14 my brain just radiant damage.
Okay. Your hammer comes down hard on his head, and briefly you see like the implosion of a strike that would kill any normal creature. But just like that, the vision's gone, and he smiles at you through human teeth on a goat head. And he says to you, "Do you uphold the law, or do you protect the people? Where do you draw that line?" If nothing else from you, Thagris, it is Toldar's turn.
Seeing what Gramps had done before in breaking of these chains, the kind of the thing, the repercussions of that, I think Toldar is going to change his target from the creature, which Thagris can handle that quite easily, it looks like. He's going to change that to hitting some of the farther chains with his blasts.
Okay.
So first one. Oh my God. That's a 7 to hit. Woohoo! Oh, never mind. That's an 8. Doing real well.
The ink that is now burned into your flesh, Toldar, is causing the bruise around your neck to ache. And you are, I don't want to say like you're getting the inclination to not do something because you can keep attacking the chains, but it's almost like there is an agreement that you're kind of stepping on between people that get paid more money than you do. And perhaps that's why you missed.
Interesting. I will step a little closer. I'm going to go about like halfway between the two groups of people from the door versus Thagris with the other guy. I want to kind of be in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then that brings us to Gramps.
I think Gramps is encouraged seeing Solara and Toldar kind of do the same thing that he was doing, even if it wasn't successful. So I think he's gonna continue on his journey of breaking chains, and he's gonna head towards the next closest chain and start swinging his pickaxe again. That'll be a dirty 20 to hit.
Okay. Roll damage.
For 6 damage. And then the second one is going to be a 14 to hit.
14 will not hit.
All right.
You hack off more of these chains. You're effectively clearing off the ceiling and walls of whatever is hanging from them. These contracts hit the ground and either get damp or burn up. But the collective group at this point has done enough damage to them that some of the support chains that are like holding this engine in the center of the room have started to break. And so it seems like that's starting to tilt on the inside as well. What will come of it is hard to say. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Gramps?
I think Gramps just, you know what? Actually, let me make sure I have this before I do it. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cash in my action surge.
All right.
Does that
Best
give
part
me
of a fire.
both of my attacks back or just one?
Well, you get both of your attack because your action is to attack, and your attack consists of 2 strikes. So yes,
Okay.
you would get both strikes back.
Perfect. I've only played fighter one other time, so.
Dude, fighter is best class.
23 on the first strike.
Okay.
For 12 damage.
Okay.
And the second one's only going to be a 9.
9 will not hit. One of the support chains that was kind of like beginning to pull taut as this machine started to bend over has pulled taut and snapped now. It seems like there's like maybe 3 chains holding it together still. It's starting to actually like kind of hop within its cradle. Engine bracket broken.
All right, that will be the end of my turn.
Solar.
Hooray, we are going to bonus action reload this bitch.
Put it on
And she's going to move closer to Burl so that way she can kind of position herself as he's like in a protective stance for her. She kind of does the same, and she kind of pulls off to the side just a little bit so she doesn't hit him. And since the chains seem to be a good idea, that's what she's gonna go for. So let's see my disadvantage. That first one's an 11, so that's not.
So I don't think you have disadvantage on your attack rolls. Oh, you're frightened. You're not exhausted. Sorry, that's on me.
Yeah.
That was on me. You're frightened. Sorry. Continue.
So my second one. Something good. 24?
24 will hit.
Cool. So 5d8. Oh, that's Bulldoo hockey. I got 4 ones.
That is terrible.
So for 8 damage.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
I mean, you did some damage. Some of these chains that are holding
bit.
things in place have been damaged. But that brings us to the train car itself. It is groaning and heaving at the damage that is happening inside its body. And it is going from the walls and floor of this carriage. The remaining chains are going to lash out and strike at all of you. I need you all to make a dexterity saving throw. right, here we go. As these chains attack you from all sides, you're all going to take some damage. So, Thagris and Burl, you're going to take 14, 17 damage as these chains strike out at you. You are restrained. For everyone else, you're going to take half that. What did I just say it was? 18, 17.
You said 17.
So half of 17 for 8.5. Just kidding. 8. As these chains wrap around you, Burl, Zagreus, the rest of you are assaulted, but you are not hampered, as it seems in some of these spots. Perhaps it's where the chains have been cut away. The goat-like figure kind of like taps his hoof, his face seeming like it's like on the edge of detaching with how far his smile reaches. It's unnatural, and whenever he talks, it's kind of like just this large mouth full of human teeth. He is going to kind of move out in front of you all, and he is going to play his song for you. And as he plays, once again, these clauses come off the wall, and they are going to attack you again, Toldar, as more of these psychically burning pieces of parchment are going to land on you. I need a Constitution saving throw.
This doesn't bode well for me, you know that.
Well, that's the idea.
That is an 11, but I would like to react as I could, as I maybe my last thing I do on this plane.
Are you saying like you have a reaction you would like to do, or?
Yes.
Okay, then yes, absolutely.
I am going to hellish rebuke him. So.
I would say yes, Thagris, it can.
So he is going to take. Come on, let me roll. 14 points. Well, it says fire damage, but in reality, this is a bunch of it's almost like ropes, etc., start clambering around his body, choking him in return. As he does whatever he's going to do to me.
The parchment flies and covers your skin, and as it kind of like burns into you, more of these contract lines, clauses, and other things are embedded into your flesh. You're going to take 18 points of psychic damage. I think I've rolled 18 or 17 points of damage every single time I've rolled dice tonight, so that's cool. And you're also going to take another point of exhaustion.
I'm not going to take that point of exhaustion, because instead I'm going to fall to the ground instead.
I think as this happens, there is a moment where you reach up and your hand is like grasped one of these hanging chains, and there's kind of like a flash of light from the pulse of the engine, and we see your shadow behind you, the silhouette of a hanged man. That brings us to Burl.
Oh baby. So that changes what I was going to do. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Sometimes
Oh, wait,
things
actually,
happen in games.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
Tigris would have got an attack of opportunity on
Perfect.
the devil. So, sorry.
No worries. No, that's perfect.
You are muted if you're talking, Steve.
Uh,
Maybe not.
yeah, I am. 'Cause I was muted here and whatever. Yeah, so it's a 22 to hit him.
That'll hit.
All right. And it'll be 4, 9, 12 points of damage. Just
All right.
swinging the hammer as he tries to slide past me.
Okay. Pearl, back to what you were saying.
Okay, so seeing that Toldar is down, I cannot abide by that. Losing somebody is not on Pearl's checklist today. So even though he was going to be doing something offensive, now he's going to be doing something more defensive and taking care of the people around him. So I'm going to cast Harvest Moon. So the Harvest Moon is a spell from my channel, or not from my channel of divinity, but from my spells list. It's a 3rd level casting, and it says you call upon the light of the harvest moon to illuminate a 20-foot radius sphere. The area is bathed in dim light, and creatures that have the invisible condition in the light become visible as translucent shimmering images. But when one of your allies within the light, you can use a bonus action to absorb some of the light and gain 2d6 hit points. So I will allow for Holdar to gain those 2d6 hit points as they're in this space. So not a lot, but it'll get you back up to that's 4 hit points that you get back, and that'll get you back up. And then, yeah, I think for him, God, I wanna, yeah, 4 hit points. Okay. But yeah, basically, imagery wise, you see that the car itself, all the windows, if there's any windows on the sidecars, all of it fills with that orange harvest moon light, and it just fills this room with that imagery. And he's just gonna stand there and hope and pray that things don't get worse, because he is using as many of his healing spells as he humanly can.
All right, Tigris.
All right. Does that healing magic seem to have been enough to not have you dead, Toldar? With a quick glance.
After the healing magics, yeah. He's still down on the ground, but you think you see his chest move.
Okay, good enough. So Thagris attempts to charge again, but is restrained by these chains, and so with a mighty effort, he reaches up to his hat and he plucks off that red gem.
I'll be damned if there's not something I can do.
And I'm gonna hold out the gem, and this is my uncommon item, a circlet of blasting. My hat being a circlet of blasting.
Cowboy had a blast.
Yeah,
10 gallon of
the
blasting.
10 gallon of blasting. So I'm going to attempt to hit him with this spell here. Can spells crit?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah,
all right.
You can still crit with spell magic.
All right, so natural 20 on to hit him with the first ray. I think I have to roll 3 hits, right, for Scorching Ray. Is that right? You have to roll 3 separate attacks. All right. So natural 20 for the first one. The second one will miss terribly, and the third one will hit AC 20.
20 beats AC.
All right, great. So 2 of them will hit. So the one that is a normal hit is going to be 8 points of damage.
Okay.
And then for the crit, just roll twice the dice.
I would say, yeah, just roll it twice.
got it. That's pretty good. 6 is 12, 5, 17, and 4, 21 points of damage from that one.
So 21.
Yes, sir.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I'd like to not be restrained anymore. Huh?
Well, I'm sorry, but that's a no for me, sir.
All right. Well, I had to. You asked.
All right, Gramps.
So Gramps sees Toldar drop, and with that, the pipe drops from Gramps' lips. He's been swinging away with this pickaxe, just frantically, but just enjoying his pipe the whole time. And instead of removing the pipe and storing it away in his hat like he has any other time it's been in danger of being dropped, it just falls from his lips as he decides to close with this thing, and use the pickaxe on it if possible instead of the chains.
Yes.
It's going to be 21 to hit.
21 will hit.
For 8 damage.
Okay.
Ooh, and that's only an 8 to hit on the second one.
You swing into this creature, and it kind of is looking up and laughing at Thagris as he fights his chains, and from behind your pickaxe collides with the back of his head. He kind of looks up. Do you still have your heroic inspiration? You used it?
I do not. I used it.
He's got 2 HP left. He frowns. The woman, Elizabeth, steps forward. She says, "I'd take that deal." And his frown turns to a smile. And he says calmly up to you, "Then I guess I'll just have to try again." And he disappears. A plume of smoke, of sulfur, and ash in your fingers, tangible, coating your hands. As you hit him, the chain above you on its last leg snaps. This engine heaves, and the entire heart apparatus seems to turn on its end. We see the outside of this train, now in the mortal plane, but where it should have been beyond, well into the west of Godsend, we are now to the east, arriving rapidly, probably too fast. This heaving engine made of skin and steel shifts from the rails and dislodges, careening towards the saloon we've seen earlier. There's kind of a shock as we're left unknowing the destruction that may have been caused by this train derailment heading towards Godsend. And we find ourselves on the other side of the continent, almost, in a large penthouse office with glass windows. Outside you see a bay full of ships, but you see like smokestacks pumping black smoke into the air. A man sits behind a table. A man, refined, black hair, a goatee neatly trimmed. He kind of writes something in pen on a parchment. His desk is kind of stacked with contracts, parchments, papers. There's like a Newton's ball thing swinging back and forth. And in a plume of smoke across from him, sitting at the desk, legs crossed, this goat, that we've seen nearly destroyed minutes before. Baron Armando Alcaraz sits in shadow, but we can tell who it is that's speaking. He leans back in his chair, quill still in hand. The council will blame the accident. That much is guaranteed. They'll tighten their grip, pass new edicts, and march their armies west. Exactly the pressure I needed. This goat, distraught but ever smooth in tongue, traces a claw along the strings of his fiddle. And yet your saviors nearly tore a hole in the whole bargain. Bold little insects gnawing at the contract's edges. Perhaps you misjudged them. We can see from the shadow a face slightly emerges, a thin smile. Or perhaps they are exactly the kind of trouble I've been waiting for. Every fire needs air, every empire needs resistance. And if they strike against me, they'll burn themselves out and leave me stronger. We see the goat head tilt, his eyes like molten coals. You speak as though you wrote their parts as well as mine. Alcaraz leans forward. We see all of his face, a caricature of perfection. Who's to say I didn't? And it fades out the window. And that is the end of the game. So thank you guys very much for playing. I'll let you guys have a quick moment to share your thoughts, and then I gotta tell people what's coming up next. So we can start in the same order we started in. Chad, anything you want to say about the game or
Dude,
other
this
things?
game was so fun. This game was so fun. I actually really love these characters, and now I'm really excited to I kind of want to play in this world with them, long term after this. That sounds like so much fun. And that's what I love about little one shots is that you get a chance to try out a character and see what that is, and then if you like it a lot, you just hold on to it. That's Burl's a character I'm gonna hold on to for a little bit and maybe play later. This is so much fun. Caldera's always been great, and Baron, honestly, you moved that at a pace that felt great, but didn't feel like we were literally getting pushed down the line, right? So I love that. I appreciate that. This was a really fun game, guys. I enjoyed every character and the way this went out. Yeah, I'm so excited to see what else is in store for the rest of the day. This has been great. Thank you so much.
That's a pleasure. Steve,
Yeah.
go ahead.
That was a lot of fun. I've actually never played in Caldera, so that was fun. I love playing in all your games, Baron.
Thank you.
And I love everybody at this table. I think I played with everybody at some point. Yeah, dude, a lot of fun. And it's to Chad's statement, you moved along really well. And for a game that was literally on a railroad, it didn't feel railroady, which is really good. Minus the car, the engine, the compartments, the rail. You know what I mean? The parts are supposed to be there. But yeah, it was really good pacing, man. I really appreciated it. Good job.
Thank you. It's the hardest part of this whole fucking thing. Besides scheduling. But I didn't have to do that, so. Nathan, please.
Yeah, great, fantastic game. I think I've played one other game that took place on a train, and it was a magical train, but it wasn't a hell train. It was like a kind of like a murder mystery thing. So it was interesting to see the differences of this hell train versus just like a regular magical train. A regular magical train? What even is that? Whatever.
Mundane
no,
magical train.
I had a ton of fun. I've definitely played with all of you guys before and enjoyed all games. I have memories with each of you guys of games to enjoy. I mean, pretty much always good memories on Jeremy's channel. I have not played with or under you, Baron, at all. I've watched you in a few games, stuff like that. So I kind of knew at least your style of play a little bit.
Sure.
But this was fantastic. I had a lot of fun.
I was happy to have you.
I love that feeling before a game where you're playing a new character, you're jittery, you're nervous, you don't know how this character is going to fit. But eventually just settling into that character and the party and the setting and getting comfortable and just flowing smoothly through the game, and both players and you, Baron, running the game just made that super easy, and it was fantastic.
Well, hell yeah. Love to hear it. Kaeryn.
Damn, dude, that was great. That story was amazing, and that ending, oh, I love that. I love that so much. Chef kiss. This was super fun. I love playing with all of you guys, always, anytime. Just you make my heart sing. It's amazing. Yeah, dude, this was amazing. I am so glad to have been able to be part of this one. And the only other thing I want to say is congratulations, Erasmus Expeditions, on your 10 years. Yay! That's so exciting. With that, I'll pass it on to Sarah.
I have to say what everybody else said. This was fantastic. The pacing was absolutely amazing. I don't think I've ever played a game with you, Baron,
I don't think so.
and I don't
Maybe.
think, obviously, I've never had a game GM by you. You did fantastic. You did an absolutely amazing job, with your descriptions. It was easy to see exactly what we were doing. And obviously, I love everyone else here at the table. You all are fantastic people, and I say this every game that I'm ever on this channel. I was so lucky to get picked for one of these games. I am so lucky to be able to be on Jeremy's channel anytime I'm able to be on it, and I love it. I definitely would love to try and play these characters again. I want to know what happens next. I need to know. So with that, congratulations, Jeremy. Congratulations, Erasmus Expeditions. This has been a blast, and I am so happy to have been a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful for the opportunities that I'm given, and getting onto this channel is one of those great opportunities that I definitely was happy to have grabbed onto. So thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for the Erasmus Expeditions. It's been fun. To 10 more years of Erasmus Expeditions. But at the very least, we have 2 more games to look forward to. There is Fortune's Folly at 5 o'clock, a Black Hearts on Blue Seas hack, I think is made by Jeremy himself, and that is being run by Jacob Norman, as well as Mines of Marestone, another Caldera 5e game, but this one is ran by Matt Click, and that'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern. So get your food, snacks ready, and come back and hang out and kick it for some giveaways. That's been happening. I didn't have any chance to look or participate, which is unfortunate. So I guess I'll have to look at the next one. But other than that, I think we can send her off, smack this horse, and see her on her way. So until next time, may your dice roll high. May your snacks always be within reach.